Again, this is Reverend Dr. Leonard Small, pastor of the Litway Missionary Baptist Church, located 2335 Shell Road in Savannah, Georgia. Come by and worship with us. If you got on high heels, you can kick them off. If you got on some low shoes, you can just dance with us, because we have a good time in the Lord. I want to specifically talk at this point. We was talking about the truth about churches and what a church is and such on our last broadcast. But here's what I want you to look at. Specifically now, what is a Baptist church? Since I pastor the Litway Missionary Baptist Church, what is a Baptist church? Not just in terms of whether we believe in baptism by immersion or not. That's true, we do believe in baptism by immersion. But when you talk about church, I want to talk to you about church structure. Because people are now inventing administrations and forms of groups that they call church. And a lot of these groups are not churches. And then the Baptist ministers are untrained and unlearned in Baptist structure. So let me give you a few fundamentals. I can't be expansive or exhaustive in this few minutes, but let me give you a few fundamentals of the Baptist church. First of all, Baptist churches by definition are congregational. So if you're going to use this for a study, you need to understand that, first of all, the congregation, the list of members who are in good standing, who are part of the church, are the people who are supposed to make decisions about the church. I understand that people are making up things, saying, well, we don't need all those meetings. That's sickening. We're just wasting time. No. Clergy should give an accounting. Again, the root, if you search through the meaning of the word clergy, it comes from the same word as secretary or clerk. Clerk. That means someone who gives an accounting of their stewardship over the things entrusted. And we take in tithes and offerings. Those are not our monies. Those are that's God's money. And the Bible says, bring the tithes into the storehouse that there might be meat in my house. Now, listen to me very carefully. All the money we take up in tithes and offerings are for people. I'll say that again. All the money we take up, those tithes and offerings, are for people. It is true that we should pay the ministers because the people who preach the gospel are supposed to live thereby. That's Bible. So it's not an issue about whether you need to pay your preacher or not. But the preacher is supposed to be paying himself. The preacher is not supposed to pay himself. The Bible says concerning the care and keeping and administration of goods to the pastor, says when it comes to ministers, we're not to muzzle the ox that grind the corn. Now here's the thing, that means someone else is in charge of the ox. The ox being the preacher. You can look up that phrase in scripture, muzzle not the ox that grind the corn. It's a direct reference to how the ministers are supposed to be paid. But they're not supposed, the ox doesn't decide how much it gets. The people who are in charge of the ox decide whether it's going to be fed or not. So ministers setting their own salaries is first of all out of order. Just plain a fact. Secondly, having said that, I know from Baptist history and tradition that there is a slogan, if not a slogan that they know of. It is definitely a process that they practice. Lord, if you keep him humble, we'll keep him broke. So the problem with that is, if you have a pastor, you don't want him living in desperation. Therefore, it says it's up to you, who has control of the benefit, to set reasonable resources for your pastor, for your minister. Now, when you think in terms of what God set up administratively to be able to take care of your pastor, listen to this. These are flat numbers. If 10 of your most well-off members pay tithe, 10 people, 10 pay tithes. From those 10 people, you can give your pastor, from just those 10, the average of their salary for his salary. Just on those 10 people. And he will have a reasonable living. 10. It's 10 top members, and they're paying tithes. You take what they're giving, give it to your pastor. He's living at their average immediately. So you'd be like Litway got 900 members. The rest of that money can go for ministry, caring, and looking after people, educating our children, feeding the poor halfway around the world. We can do stuff. God designed the church to be a monster social activist vehicle. And we're treating it as if it's our own little pity party where we're taking care of ourselves. Minister the other day on TV talking about the Lord told him to buy a jet plane called $50-some million. You a lying dog. First of all, God wouldn't be that foolish. Secondly, he wouldn't be that silly with you. You already have a couple of planes. What are you doing? People who do things like that destroy the church. Remember now, the church is not destroyed by sinners. I want you to hear this. The rank sinner doesn't have much he can do to the church. The hypocrite looks into the church and see people who say they're godly, but they're ungodly, and says, if that's what it means to be a Christian, I don't want to be with you. And do way more harm. And so greedy ministers setting their own salaries are tearing the church apart. In the Baptist church, the pastor is supposed to have two things that he can do. One, he's absolutely in charge of the pulpit. Nobody preaches in that church without his acquiescence. That's not a vote between him and the deacons or him and the congregation. He does that unilaterally. Secondly, the order of service is his unilaterally. When the piano is going to be played, when we're going to take up communion, when we're going to take up money, those things are his and his alone. Everything else in the Baptist church, everything else in the congregational church is done by the congregation. Every other group in the church, deacons, deaconesses, trustee board, ushers, choir, pastor's aide, BTU, everything else is an auxiliary. Did you hear me say that? Including the deacon board and the trustee board. Therefore, they can only make recommendations to the congregation, which sometimes we call the conference. So here's the deal. If your church is not structured in that fashion, then you're not functioning as a Baptist church. A Baptist church, by definition, is congregational in nature. And I wish some of you all who are looking at this, who are struggling in your churches, are going through a bunch of changes, will look into some books that I didn't write and find out what a Baptist church is. You'll find, if you search the best books, you'll find, no doubt about it, everything I just told you. And these are not personal possessions. I will not be passing Litway down to my son or my daughter. That's not how the church is. Look at the Bible. Look at the Bible. You don't see that. You don't see none of that. So how all of a sudden, first is my church, then it's my wife's church, then it's my son's church, then it's his grandson's church. They call that a family church. There's no such thing as a family church. These are the church of Jesus Christ. These are supposed to be independent, functioning, spiritual organizations. The next thing I need you to understand is the church is supposed to be a tool of God, not a possession of men. To require someone to join your church in order to be baptized is to ignore the Bible. They were baptizing people upon profession in the Bible. So anybody who wants to be baptized, look straight at me. You don't want to join a particular church. You don't want to join Litway. You don't want to join Pastor Small. Great, I'm fine. We got water. You got a reason. Come, I will baptize you. You don't have to join. You don't have to stand up in front of the congregation. When John was baptizing people in the Jordan River, he was not baptizing people in the first Jordan River Baptist Church. That wasn't happening. People were being baptized on profession of their faith. So, on top of what I just said, if you got a preacher that you want to baptize you, or if you got a congregation, an ecclesia, and y'all don't have a pool, come to Litway. I got water. Come on in. The water is fine. Free. Anytime you want it. And if I can't get there, if I can't make that appointment, I got deacons who come and open the church, run the water, and let you baptize folk to your heart's desire. The church has to be real. It has to follow the scripture. Like marriages, they have to be real. They have to follow the scripture. Therefore, there's no such thing as a same-sex marriage. It doesn't exist. I don't care what the courts say. It just doesn't exist. And there's no such thing as a female bishop or a female deacon. I apologize if I've besmirched your sensibilities, but I mean every word I've said. This has been Reverend Dr. Leonard Small. If you're mad at me and you want to talk to me about it, my cell phone number is 912-695-7169. My child who films this process is shaking her head. Daddy, don't give out your number over the thing. Yes, darling, I'm giving it out. 912-695-7169. Call me, we'll discuss it. Don't cuss me out, though, because I don't put up with that. We love you. God bless you. Keep listening.